Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Wright, Ace Attorney, Dual Destinies. Today we are starting the first trial of Turnabout. Ow. of Turnabout Reclaimed. You get to see Phoenix's second costume in this game, which I love so much. It's so funny. July 21st, 9:21 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning. Chipper as ever this morning, I say. I'm just thankful we actually get to have a trial for Orla. As a matter of fact, I just ran a few laps around the courthouse to get extra pumped. And I just splashed my face with some water to get the sleep out of my eyes. Oh, I also queued the Swashbuckler video so we can watch it at any time. Swashbuckler video added to the court record. A TV recording of a performance featuring Orla, Sasha, and Jack Shipley as pirates. Thanks. It just might help our case. By the way, you have some serious dark circles. Did you stay up late watching this? What? Me? No, I just woke up early, that's all. Guess I need to cuff them up. I get ragged on enough as it is by Prosecutor Blackwell. Speaking of being pumped, I'm pretty fired up for this trial, too. It's been a while. That explains why your hair is spikier than usual. I mean, look at it! It's all super pokey and prickly and stuff. It's amazing! That was a compliment, right? I forgot what I did for your voice, fuck. Good luck, Mr. Nick. I'll be cheering you on from the gallery. Thanks, girls. It's been so long, I'm actually a little nervous. Good morning, Mr. Lawyer. Oh, Mr. Imes, you came to watch the trial? Yeah, Sasha's back at the aquarium with the orca. So I thought I'd better come here to watch for her. Well, don't you worry. We're going to win for Orla. Isn't that right, boss? Right. One unprecedented trial coming right up. Phoenix's first trial back as a lawyer is defending a fucking orca. I find that so funny. July 21st, 9:30 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Day 1, court is now in session. You see him all there back there. All rise. Court is now in session for the trial of Orla Shipley. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Must we waste words on this? Prosecutor Simon Blackwell. Known as the Twisted Samurai, he's a prosecutor who's also a convicted felon. They say he never commits a trial without his loyal hawk talking by his side. Mr. Wright, it's been quite a while since I've seen you like that. The lawyer image suits you. You look younger somehow. Do you recognize my outfit, Your Honor? Thank you, Your Honor. And you look as young as ever yourself. Ha ha ha! Well, I have to keep up with you folks after all. Oh, by the way, has the defendant arrived in court yet? Just wanna... What, we don't have Simon? Why don't we have Simon? Sure, you gesture, Your Boldness. Did you not receive the memo? The defendant, Orla Shipley, is an orca at Shipship Aquarium. An orca! Arrangements for this trial were made only yesterday, so I didn't have time to review. But an orca as a defendant, it's patently absurd. Direct your comments to the defense. This is the absurd fellow who insisted on defending the orca in court in the first place. Absurd or not, I will carry out my duty to defend my client. Your duty to defend your crying aunt? Don't you mean your crying orca, Mr. Wright?
If we are to proceed, we must treat the orca as we would any other defendant. Every soul, be it of man or beast, is of equal value. The question is whether that soul is painted in black or white. Take Taka, for example. He is as human in spirit as you or I.
The real question is, am I in for more pain as always? Orca or not, I suppose the defendant is still a defendant. And I vow to render my verdict fairly and impartially. Now then, Prosecutor Blackwell, your opening statement, if you would.
I suppose I can hardly leave it to someone who knew nothing of the defendant. Very well. Listen carefully. An orca murdered the owner of Ship Aquarium in the aquarium's orca pool. The orca apparently toyed with the victim mercilessly as he died.
A sadistic orca? What a chilling thought. And where exactly is this defendant now?
Inside this.
A cell phone, Prosecutor Blackwell? I'm not sure how that's physically possible.
Time marches on, your boldness, with or without us. I borrowed this TV phone from the aquarium, which will allow us to interact with the orca.
A TV phone? Very well. The court accepts it into evidence. TV phone added to the court record. A cell phone used by Ship Aquarium staff. This model connects to TVs and can be used to conduct teleconferencing.
We will be able to view the defendant in question on this larger monitor. Fulbright, prepare for transmission.
Ha ha ha! You've got it, Prosecutor Blackwell! Hi, Orla.
We will proceed with the defendant on telecast.
So that is the orca that stands accused, is it? Aw, she's waving her flipper at us. Maybe she's cheering us on.
Orla, wish Phoenix and Athena luck.
Aw. Oh, it's quite cute, isn't it? This adorable creature is suspected of killing a man.
Orla's really pouring on the charm, huh? She is far from cute. She is a violent, reckless animal.
That's right. The name's Bobby Fulbright, and I'll take over the explaining from here. Now, if I could direct your attention to this diagram of the crime scene. Following the report of an orca attack, we, the police, raced over to a ship-shape aquarium. There, we found a guest who says she saw the orca and the victim from the visitor's corridor. As the witness was watching, the orca suddenly went crazy and attacked the victim. The orca was the only one there, therefore no one else could have committed the crime. It's not quite finished, but I have a portion of the autopsy report here. Shipley's autopsy report added to the court record. Instant death from brain contusion. There are signs of blunt force trauma all over the body. I can't imagine the terror of being attacked underwater by such a large creature. Shipley's autopsy report, cause of death, contusion from head, trauma, bruised all over body, death thought to be a result of an orca attack. Estimated time of death under investigation.
But attack it did. Prepare yourselves for the grisly details, your boldness. The prosecution moves to introduce our witness. Fulbright?
You got it, Prosecutor Blackwell. In justice we trust. One brave lady whose fine sense of justice compelled her to speak, coming right up.
How dare you make me wait? Don't you know I'm a busy woman? I could have written an entire book for all the time I spent in that lobby.
Prosecutor Blackwell,
Well? I am Norma de Plume, and I'm a non-fiction writer.
Am I the only one who isn't telepathic here?
Looks like she can read into people's words just as well as I can read into people's hearts.
Not everything needs to be a competition, Athena.
Yes, it does!
What? Norma de Plume? The great non-fiction writer, Miss Norma de Plume herself? I've read all of your works and enjoyed them immensely. The Million Seller, The Great Grief of the Great Thief is one of my favorites.
Is that a reference to Kay?
In the Yatagarasu?
Oh, are you a fan, Your Honor? I could give you my autograph if you'd like.
Wait a second. I could swear you looked much different in the photos in your book.
Well, I used one from 10 years ago in my book so that the paparazzi won't harass me. The judge seems so shocked.
The visual disconnect must be really doing a number on His Honor's head.
Could we get started, please? If I find you to be lacking as a judge, you will see your debut in my books.
Such harsh comments. You really must be the real Norma de Plume. Who knew Mr. Plume was so famous?
Enough jabbering. Tell the court what you saw and keep it brief. I would thank you to not order me around. I am perfectly willing to tell everyone what I witnessed. It was the moment of the murder.
Very well then, please proceed with your testimony. Witness testimony. The moment of the murder.
I went to Ship Aquarium to see the killer whale. As I was watching the killer whale from the visitor's corridor, it suddenly went crazy. I saw the killer whale bite the victim to death with its huge mouth and deadly teeth. Attempting to remain calm, I reported the incident to the police immediately.
That adorable defendant really did all that. It must be much more vicious than it looks.
Now, deliver your judgment, so I may carry out the sentence.
Objection!
The defense would like to do some defending first, if that's alright.
Must you drag this out with your tomfoolery?
Hold it!
The defense always has the right to cross-examine the witness, you know.
A fellow inmate told me just this morning. If you want something signed, all you need is the document and a witness.
Let me guess. They were convicted for contract fraud, right?
All we need in this case is the evidence and a witness to convict. It's as simple as that.
Looks like I guessed right. Sorry, but as Miss Sykes said, the defense has every right to cross-examine. Isn't that correct, Your Honor? Yes, of course. You may proceed with your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
I shall relish the sight of you thrashing around in vain.
Cross-examination. The moment of the murder.
I went to Ship Aquarium to see the killer whale.
Hold it!
Why did you want to see the orca?
Well, it is the featured attraction of the aquarium, after all. Why waste energy on such tripe? There is but one attraction in Ship Aquarium that is worth anyone's time. And that is the penguins. Isn't that right, Taka, my friend?
Alrighty then, I guess Prosecutor Blackwell is for the birds.
I guess we should jot that down. Note to self, Prosecutor Blackwell is on Team Rifle.
And so you went to see the orca in its tank?
Yes, that's right. As I was watching the killer whale from the visitor's corridor, it suddenly went crazy.
Hold it!
The orca suddenly went crazy, did she?
Yes, it took a look at me, and then all at once it started going berserk.
Did you do anything to make her angry?
I did nothing more than simply glare at it from the visitor's corridor.
She glared at Orca? At Orla? And that's what caused her to go berserk.
Objection!
The reason the defendant went mad is not the issue here. Only what she did once she entered that state.
In any case, the killer whale began behaving wildly in front of my very eyes. And then... I saw the killer whale bite the victim to death with his huge mouth and deadly teeth.
Hold it!
So you're saying you saw the very moment of the victim's death? That is exactly what I'm saying. Oh, it was simply dreadful. It was as frightening as losing one's manuscript just before a deadline. I suppose for a writer that would be pretty terrifying. I witnessed the killer whale's horrific act, and I knew I had to do something, so... Attempting to remain calm, I reported the incident to the police immediately.
Hold it!
Why were the police the first ones you contacted? I was afraid if I told aquarium staff, they might try to cover it up. Of course, I immediately told aquarium security after my call to the police. I believe I deserve praise for my swift decision-making skills under pressure. Mr. Plume is the most assertive witness I've ever seen. That's a fucking lie, but okay. We'd better do our best to look like big shot lawyers if we want to match your intensity. Mr. Plume, I praise your swift decision-making skills under pressure. That was more kiss up than big shot. I suppose it was unrealistic to expect big shot from Mr. Wright. Now's your chance to be a big shot. Be a big shot. Now's your chance to be a big shot. Be a big shot. Spampton G. Spampton.
How fitting for a small fry to praise a big shot.
How about cutting the small fry some slack, you big meanies? The important thing here is, did you really see the moment of the murder? You're raring to go, aren't you, Mr. Wright? I see it in your eyes, and in your heart. I guess I really am a lawyer at heart.
Objection!
It would seem that you are mistaken, Mr. Plume. I beg your pardon. The autopsy report does indeed say death thought to be a result of orca attack. But the actual cause of death is contusion from head trauma, not being bitten. What? But... I'm sure the victim was bitten. I don't believe that can be true. The security footage doesn't show anything of the kind.
Objection!
Just as I suspected. I knew you would peek at the footage behind Fulbright's back.
Well, what did you expect when he wouldn't play nice and share?
But unfortunately for you, the footage you saw was only one small part.
Huh?
Yesterday, after I decided to take this case to trial, I re-reviewed all of the evidence. Taka, the evidence I gave to you for safekeeping.
Guess that hawk is higher up on the pecking order than Fulbright and Blackwell's book. Very well. Let's review the footage. What is this? The orca is biting the victim! No way! I have to say that this appears to be a very damning evidence. Security footage updated in the court record. The video shows the orca pull the footage 2 pages ago. No! I can't believe Orla really bit him!
And there is more. Look at this. This photograph was taken while the body was being examined.
There seems to be a strange bruise on the victim's right wrist.
I'll have the crime lab examine the bruise and calculate its relevance to the case at hand. What's important right now is evidence that points to the orca as the killer. Look at the left side of the body. See the two orca's tooth marks in the victim's clothes.
Yes, they do appear to suggest that she did indeed, in fact, bite the victim. Okay, but where's the blood? If she bit him, where's the blood? Photo of the body updated in the court record. Okay, 2 photos. I told you so. And then the killer whale swam up towards the surface with the victim in its mouth.
Objection!
However, in the autopsy report, the cause of death is contusion from head trauma.
Objection!
You are much too impetuous, Wright Donor. Granted, the orca biting the victim was not the cause of death. The witness was mistaken about that.
Then what explanation is there for what the witness saw?
Did I not say in the beginning? The orca toyed with the victim mercilessly.
But my goodness!
After killing the victim, the defendant swam around with his dead body in her mouth. Just like any other predator toying with its prey.
Mr. Wright! The hearts of the people in the gallery are suddenly filled with fear. Fear of Orla! So, the defendant bit the victim after she had killed him. But if that's the case, then we must still figure out how the defendant killed the victim. Prosecutor Blackwell, do you have a sound theory to give to this court?
I wouldn't be standing here if I couldn't prove whether the orca's heart was black or white.
But Orla is black and white. Her body, I mean. Athena, please try not to provoke Prosecutor Blackwell. He's also black and white.
This witness also observed the actual moment of the murder. Think back, word mistress. Think back to what you observed before the orca bit the victim.
Ah, I see what you're driving at. So that was the true moment of the murder, was it?
Now, explain it in a way that even these simpletons can understand.
There you go again, ordering me around. Stop that this instant. But whatever. I don't mind telling my story. I saw the killer whale before it toyed with the body as well. I saw it the moment it killed the victim by headbutting him. Orla killed the victim by headbutting him? That's right. It rammed the victim over and over again.
Recall that the autopsy report stated that there were bruises all over his body. Recall as well how persistent the defendant can be when she's attacking her prey.
And we all just saw the killer whale headbutting the victim in the footage, don't forget. That footage backs up Mr. Plume's testimony. But there's also something very important it does not show. Now do you see what a menace this killer whale is?
Objection!
I'm sorry, but I can't allow your testimony to stand unchallenged. Looking at this footage, the orca certainly seems to be headbutting something. But you'll note that the something is not the victim. Oh! What? I want to look away, but I can't. How is that physically possible? Even if it was the victim, you couldn't have seen him from where you were, could you? What? Oh, well, I suppose not. Mr. Plume, did you actually witness the victim getting headbutted by the defendant? Let's see. Oh, I remember now. As I recall, a rock in the shape of a skull was obstructing my view. So, are you admitting that you couldn't see the victim? Yes. Yes, I suppose I am. However, immediately after the headbutting, the victim came floating up. He
He came up from behind the skull-shaped rock and his body was all limp. What else could I think except that the killer was headbutting the victim?
Objection!
But if you didn't actually see the moment of the attack itself, then it's pure conjecture.
Objection!
Must I do everything around here? How dare you speak so rudely to me? There's no need for hysterics. Clear your mind and recall how you reached your conclusion. Though you couldn't see what the orca was attacking, you didn't need to, did you? Because you knew she was behaving exactly as she had only 1 year prior.
Oh! 1 year ago.
That's right, yes, that's it. That's how I knew the killer whale was headbutting the victim.
I'm sorry, but could someone explain exactly what happened a year ago?
If you must know, a very similar incident occurred only last year, in which the defendant murdered her trainer.
Well, what? The orca murdered a trainer, you say? What? Is this really true? This is not looking good for us.
It's all in this book.
That book? The Killer Whale? That's Mr. Plume's latest work. I was just thinking of picking that up. The Killer Whale, added to the court record. A non-fiction book by Norma de Plume. It's about the case from last year.
Last year, the defendant killed a trainer in the middle of a show.
Why am I going here? Actually, yeah, we do have Blackwell now. Simon Blackwell, age 28. A prosecutor and prison inmate. He has mastered the use of psychological manipulation in courtroom battles. Okay, it's just that. Okay.
The orca headbutted and bit the victim.
The same thing she's accused of in this case. That orca killed 2 people? That thing is a menace. Oh, I never want to go to the beach again. No! Now everyone's even more convinced that Orla did it!
You were doing so well, but now...
Now everyone in the room has a bad impression of Orla.
I don't want to think she did it.
But it's hard to believe... It's hard to keep on believing in somebody who can't even tell me her side. Phoenix! Athena! You gotta believe in Orla. There's no way she killed anybody. You gotta save her. Please. I'm begging you. Sasha. What am I doing doubting my client like this? This is the time to be strong. I believe in Orla, and I'm ready to fight for our clients. I'll take everybody in this court on if I have to. Don't you worry, Sasha. We won't give up on Orla. We'll defend her to the very end. Thank you. Thank you, both of you. Yo. We are Orla's lawyers. Who else but us can save her? We can't give up on her now.
For an instant there, you were afraid of the orca, weren't you? Right, Donna? When you saw the photograph of the victim from a year ago, you turned paler than me.
He saw right through me.
It's obvious you have neither the guts nor the determination to defend this orca.
It's true that Orla can't speak, and I don't know her thoughts. But there's a certain someone who believes in Orla with all her heart. I respect the trust she has in Orla, so I'm willing to believe in Orla too.
And what do you know about orcas? Nothing, that's what. So, allow me to fill you in. Do you have any idea why orcas are also called killer whales? Because they are cunning and merciless predators that hunt and kill even true whales.
So, killer whales really are killers? What terrifying creatures indeed! Let me search up why killer whales are called killer whales. Oh. Yeah. Okay. They do hunt whales. Apparently. Do dolphins? What? Apparently they don't show aggression towards humans normally, but like they are giant ass creatures.
I can't bear to hear any more of such rubbish as trusting a killer. Can you, your boldness?
No matter what you say, I will continue to believe. I don't give up that easily, you know.
Dullard, you don't know when to give up, do you? Very well. I shall give you a chance to prove just how determined you are. Witness, spare no quarter and lay the full truth on them.
Oh, but of course, that is what I do after all. Prosecutor Blackwell, what will you have the witness testify about?
I shall have her testify about what she saw and what she heard.
What she heard? Very well. Mr. Plume, please tell the court what you saw and what you heard. What I saw and what I heard. The killer whale's behavior was exactly the same. Same as a year ago. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. I was calm when I saw it start a headbutt. But when the pirate hardened victim came floating up, I let out a scream. So the orca displayed the same behavior as during the incident a year ago. That's right. Those weren't just simple cries, it was singing. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. It kept headbutting while it sang the swashbuckler spectacular song. That's right, it was singing the same song it sang back in the aquarium stage show back then. It was singing while it was headbutting. Oh, it was perfectly horrible. I don't see a single obvious inconsistency in this testimony. It's clear I won't be able to take apart her statements with evidence alone. Mr. Wright, now would be a good time for me to put my skills to work. It's time to show what analytical psychology can really do. You seem pretty confident. Let me guess. You noticed the contradiction between the testimony and her emotions. You bet I did. And once we expose it, we just might be able to crack her. No, scratch that. Make it, we'll definitely be able to. Then let's give your knowledge of analytical psychology a try. You got it, boss. Complete analysis of Mr. Plume's heart coming right up. The killer whale's behavior was exactly the same as a year ago. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. I was calm when I saw it starting to headbutt.
But when the pirate heart and the victim came floating up, I let out a scream.
Do you see any emotions that seem odd or out of place? Pay attention to not only which emotions you see, but how strong they are. An emotion might suddenly get stronger, for example, or you might see it grow weaker. Okay. Let me listen to her testimony again. I was calm when I saw it. Start to headbutt. No, you weren't. Mr. Plume, Orla really frightened you with the headbutting, didn't she?
Don't be absurd. I was certainly not frightened by the likes of any killer whale.
Must have been something else that scared her then, boss.
However, I do remember being very afraid for some reason while it was doing that.
Sounds like maybe you saw something we haven't discussed yet. Take your time and try to remember what it was. What did you see?
This is practically turning into a counseling session. I saw something. I remember now.
Okay, good. Now, if you could please tell the court what you saw.
I saw bright red blood. The killer whale's ramming caused the victim to bleed, and it was a great cloud of blood.
What?
Yes, that's it. That's why I was so sure. That's why I knew that killer whale had killed a person for a second time.
Well, that's a very compelling statement. That was a very compelling statement indeed. Looking at this again, there does appear to be something that could be a cloud of blood. So, her terror was the reaction to blood, was it? That would certainly explain what happened yesterday. Please take a look at this blood-stained coin.
Hey! Cease and desist at once! What kind of man chose Lady Blood?
She doesn't have to get so worked up.
I was badly injured during an interview once. Ever since then, I've been terrified of blood. The very sight of it dreadfully upsets my delicate sensibilities.
This is a bad turn. If Mr. Plume saw blood, then does that mean Orla really did attack the victim?
It would appear that orcas are even more vicious than I am. So, how does it feel to be thoroughly rammed by your own cross-examination, right, Turner?
What do we do now, boss? That testimony was not at all what I expected to hear. Wait a minute! There's still some discord left in Mr. Plume's heart. What? You mean there's more? Yes, but there's no telling what it is. Could be something even more damaging. Is there even anything left of our case to damage? Well, whatever. Just have to face it head on. Athena, you believe in Orla, right? If so, there's no reason for us to shy away from the truth. Yeah, you're right! I know we can handle the truth, whatever it is, so let's delve a little deeper. You've got it, boss! Killer Whale's behavior was exactly the same as a year ago. Suddenly started singing. Huh. Her fear seems to lessen here at this statement. Mr. Plume, weren't you afraid when you saw the victim with blood coming out of him? My, that's a very good question. I was shaken after witnessing a murder, yes, but the blood seemed to disappear. Disappear? Why do you suppose that was? It's simple. It was because of the pirate hat. After the killer whale put on the hat, the cloud of blood disappeared.
Objection!
And how exactly does that work? How should I know? I'm just telling you what I remember, Blue Boy. Wait a minute. From whose blood was this... From whom was this blood that Mr. Plume saw actually from?
Take that!
Consider this. Maybe the one who was bleeding wasn't the victim. I beg your pardon? What kind of ridiculous nonsense is that? There was no one else in that pool besides the victim. Oh, I wouldn't say there was no one else. It is an oracle pool after all. What? Then where's this alleged injury on the defendant? I'm not sure. But if simply wearing the pirate hat made the blood disappear, then the blood must have been coming from somewhere on Orla's head. What? The orca's head? What are you prattling on about now? Please think about it again, Mr. Plume. Think back to what you really saw. That is... The one who was bleeding was not the victim, but the killer whale. I remember now. There wasn't any blood coming from the victim at all. Yippee! Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We did it! Analytical psychology got us what we needed from her. That was huge. That was a huge help, Athena. It was also pretty dicey for a while, though. Well, this is a surprise. The blood the witness saw was the defendant's, not the victim's. That is correct. And since there was no blood coming from the victim, there's only one thing we can conclude. that what Mr. Plume witnessed was not the moment of the murder as she claims.
Objection!
I thought you were unarmed, but it turns out you were concealing a sword all along. Nevertheless, it is far too dull to cut to the bone.
Meaning?
I grant that what the witness saw was not the victim's blood, but it proves nothing. After all, being rammed doesn't always result in a wound that bleeds, does it? Death from internal hemorrhaging is also a possibility.
He has a point there.
If you wish to challenge me to a duel, you'll need a sharper blade than that, right, Dono? I demand evidence that proves the witness did not see the moment of the murder.
Ah! There must be something. Think, Phoenix. I'm correct, when the victim's death occurred. If the victim was already dead when Orla started headbutting, then that would mean he died sometime before Mr. Plume was watching her. The events Mr. Plume witnessed took place at around 10:10 a.m. I must have something that can tell us about what happened before 10:10 a.m.
Take that!
This is the evidence that proves Mr. Plume did not see the moment of the murder. Huh? I'm not sure that's really related to what Mr. Plume did or didn't witness. But you're not sure, right?
No, we can be quite sure it's unrelated.
Yes, quite. Ouch, I guess we can be. The events Mr. Plume witnessed took place at around 10 a.m. I must have something to tell us about what happened before 10:10 a.m. Do I just present this? What do I present? This is the only thing that has time on it. So I would... Only other thing has the time on it, so I would assume that it would be this. So...
Take that!
We've only seen the footage from 10:09 to 10:10 a.m. Which means there's still footage going further back that we need to check. Your Honor, I request that all of the security footage be played for the court. All the footage? Mr. Plume witnessed the cloud of blood at around 10:10 a.m. But I believe that the victim was already dead by that time. So, your assertion is that the murder took place before Mr. Plume arrived. Exactly. The security camera footage starts at 10 a.m. when the aquarium opened. And I believe that there is vital evidence in the 10 minutes before.
You are quite the gambling man, right, Dono? Are you honestly willing to risk everything on those mere 10 minutes?
I've bet on slimmer chances before, but when he puts it that way...
Hold it!
My boss is no coward, Prosecutor Blackwell, so I suggest you get ready to eat humble pie. Oh, I can't turn back now. Well, if the defense is not confident in its importance, Prosecutor Blackwell, the security footage.
Fulbright?
Roger! I have the rest of the security footage right here. Very well. Please play it for the court. Please have something for me. This is what it looked like at 10:10 a.m. The witness can be seen here. All right. I'll just back the footage up to the beginning now. It appears that Mr. Plume hasn't arrived yet at this point. Now to see if I can find something from before this point in time. Is that it? Yup. That's all the footage there is. Well, Mr. Wright, did you see what you were looking for? We got nothing.
Well, right, Anna. Those were the 10 minutes you placed your bet on. Did you see anything of significance?
Did I see anything important? I better think about this carefully. In the footage, we see... I mean, I would say we saw something important, because, he would have to... Oh, okay. We can see nothing of importance in that footage.
Just as I thought.
Ha ha ha! You're right about that. That section was completely meaningless. It doesn't show a thing. Well, that's why I didn't submit it as evidence.
Objection!
No, it's just the opposite. What do you mean? In this 10 minutes of footage, something important that should be there isn't there. Detective Fulbright, this footage should have been submitted as evidence. What? Are you questioning the way I carry out my duty to justice? Mr. Wright, explain yourself, please. What is this important thing that you say should be in the footage but isn't?
Take that!
The important thing we should see in this footage is the victim himself, Jack Shipley. I don't know about you, but I didn't see him get in the pool in that footage. Oh! Ah! That's right! If the victim is not shown entering the pool in this footage, it means that he must have been there by the Skull Rock during those 10 minutes. Not what I meant to press. But no human being can hold their breath underwater for that long. Wait a minute! What are you saying? When the security camera started up at 10 a.m., the victim was already dead. What? Order in this court. What the fuck? I don't mean to press that every time. If that's the case, then when was the victim murdered? I don't know, Your Honor. But we know it had to have been sometime before 10 a.m. Therefore, this footage can no longer be called decisive evidence against my client.
But there was no one else who could have killed the victim.
Not necessarily. The defense believes that the true culprit may have been human. And we have evidence to back up our theory as well.
Do you know? I would be very interested in seeing this evidence.
The defense's trump card. That thing we found during our investigation yesterday. I wouldn't go so far as to call it decisive evidence, but now's not the time to play it. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please submit your evidence. That evidence shows that the crime may have been committed by a human.
Take that!
What's this? A coin? Yes, a fake coin used in the aquarium's pirate show. We found it beside the pool. This coin is quite possibly the real murder weapon. This tiny little coin is the murder weapon. Mr. Wright, if this is another one of your bluffs...
As they say, the bolder the presentation, the less confident the solicitor.
This is no bluff. And this isn't the only coin. There are 300 of these coins altogether, weighing a total of about 7 pounds. This one just happens to have blood on it.
Did you have the blood analyzed the same as it was?
Not yet. But there were coins scattered all around the body, and the victim had a head wound. Taking these things into account, I believe it has to be the victim's blood. So, to put it together, we have about 7 pounds of coins by the side of the pool. One of them was a blood stain on it. I keep pressing that. I think the answer is pretty clear. Your Honor, the defense proposes that the victim was killed beside the pool. The side of the pool? But if the murder took place there, it would be difficult to say the orca did it. Yeah, that's why I'm saying that, Your Honor. I'm defending the orca. I realize you were trying to defend your client, but that theory is preposterous. How could 300 coins be made to kill someone at once? You're putting them in a bag, you dumbass. It'd be pretty easy if they were in a bag or something of that nature. And where is this bag the coins were in? Unfortunately, Your Honor, we recovered nothing of the sort from the scene. It's possible the culprit took it with them. They took it. The true culprit will use the coins as a blunt instrument to commit murder. They then threw the body into the pool before the security cameras started up. And then they left, taking the bag the coins were in with them. They got rid of the evidence that points to a human culprit to pin the blame on Orla. That was brilliant, Mr. Wright! We found a way to introduce the possibility of a human perpetrator! Yeah, somehow. Let's hope my luck holds out. I wonder why Prosecutor Blackwell hadn't said anything. The possibility of a perpetrator other than the defendant has now been suggested. But if we hold this possibility to be true, then what did Mr. Plume witness? That's right. I saw the killer whale attack the victim. Just like it did a year ago. I guess there's still that. Even with somebody else as the culprit. Orla's behavior does seem pretty bizarre. I wonder why did she was doing? What? I wonder why she was doing the same things she did a year ago. But are they really that bizarre? What do you mean? Try to explain the inexplicable. All we have to do is turn our thinking around. Just turn our thinking around, huh? Something to me. Time to give the old turn my thinking around method a try. Instead of trying to figure out why Orla did the same things she did a year ago, you should consider the results that were produced by her behavior this time around. Orla sang a song, did some headbutts, and bit the victim. If the real culprit wanted to shift the suspicion onto Orla, then they would have needed to give people a reason to think Orla did it in the first place. Mr. Wright, as your lawyer, how do you explain your client's actions? I believe we should think of it in this way, Your Honor. What kind of effect did Orla's actions have on the case? Very well. Why don't you explain it for the court? How did the defendant's actions affect the case? I don't know. I don't quite know. Created witness? Mr. Plume focused her attention on the orca pool because she heard the song. The orca's act of singing a song created a witness. Created a witness? Isn't it possible that fabricating a witness was the real culprit's true intention? After all, Mr. Plume witnessed two things. She saw Orla headbutt something over and over, and she saw the orca bite the victim. Those two actions of Orla's might have been the real culprit's plot to make the witness think the orca was attacking the victim. Are you saying that the defendant was being manipulated by the true perpetrator? Exactly. And that would explain Orla's actions perfectly. But the defendant is an orca. Is it even possible to manipulate her? Yes, there is a way to manipulate Orla's behavior. with this.
Take that!
Is this a whistle? Yes, Your Honor. The trainers at the aquarium use whistles to issue commands to Orla. But in truth, anyone can do it provided they know the right signals. Ah, that must be how they get Orla to do tricks for their pirate shows. The true culprit hid the body in a spot that couldn't be seen from the visitor's corridor. But then, when Mr. Plume appeared, they gave Orla the commands. In other words, Orla was manipulated by the culprit to perform a series of tricks. What? And, as for you, Mr. Plume, you were manipulated by the true culprit to play the part of the witness. I, Norma de Plume, was set up. I, Norma de Plume, writer extraordinaire, was used. No, no, no! Mr. Plume, please do something about your attire. That was one wardrobe malfunction I did not want to see. It would appear that we need to shift our suspicion to someone other than Orla. Prosecutor Blackwell, please have the blood-stained coin analyzed.
You waste your breath.
I guess even Prosecutor Blackwell can't refute the possibility of a human suspect. You did it, boss! If the crime happened beside the pool, there's no way an orca could have done it. Now, if only we can find the bag the coins were in. In light of the new direction, of the new discovery, it would appear that the orca couldn't have done it. Exactly, Your Honor. If the blood on the coin proves to be the victim's, it proves to be that of the victim, we can unequivocally overturn Orla's accusation.
Objection!
Overturn the defendant's accusation? I think not.
Ah! My hair! My beautiful hair!
Yesterday, a new inmate was brought into the prison. He said, "The moment he relaxes when you're most vulnerable."
And what did this man go in for?
He's merely a sneaky thief who enjoys a spot of fishing now and again. But right, Turner, here would look easier to hook than any fish.
What did you say, good sir? Oh, you just, okay. That hawk sure does love the judge's head. What's this? That coin from before and some sort of bag? A bag? I don't think I'm gonna like this.
This is the coin bag. The 300 coins are in. I believe you were looking for this.
How did you get that?
I never said we didn't find it at the crime scene. The bag had blood on it, so naturally I had it sent to the crime lab.
And does the blood belong to the victim?
It does indeed, as does the blood on the coin.
I knew it! So the blood on the coin did belong to the victim.
The bag was open and the coins had all spilled out. But the bag alone wasn't proof enough to say that it was used as the murder weapon. However, thanks to the defense and the coin, I'm more than satisfied that it was.
Prosecutor Blackwell, are you conceding that the true culprit committed the murder with a bag of coins?
I shall concede that the victim was put into the pool after his death. However, even with this bag, it doesn't change the fact that it was the orca that killed the victim.
Objection, Your Honor, that's bullshit. Orcas can't hit people with bags. What? How can you still suspect Orla?
You said that the true culprit manipulated Orla's behavior. But Orla isn't the kind of orca that would let someone control her. If anything, Orla used the victim's behavior against him to murder him.
What? But... Are you arguing that the orca manipulated a human being?
To prove it, I have summoned another witness. Marlon Rhymes. Take the stand.
Marlon Rhymes is a witness!
Well, don't just stand there. State your name.
I told you I didn't want to be a witness.
I thought one witness would be quite enough to prove the defendant's guilt. But apparently Wright Dono won't be satisfied until every stone is turned.
Well, son of a... Alright, fine. If I gotta talk, then let's get this over with. Mr. Rhyme doesn't seem like a willing witness. I wonder what Prosecutor Blackwell is going to have him testify about. So, could we have your name and occupation for the record, witness? Ahoy, yo, 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 ho, ho! People of the law, time to testify. Chillin' with my crew at the ship shape. Opus penguins in the seascape. Cleaning and feeding. There ain't no end. But them bratty kids' tours shall transcend. Noob animal keeper from the house of rhymes. I'm the master keeper. Mauling with the rhymes. Oh, I'm afraid I couldn't understand a word you said. Is that flip-flop music young people nowadays like?
So close, Your Honor. So close. And yet so far.
Please proceed with your testimony, witness, without the flip-flop. Okay, fine. But I don't want to do this, I tell you. I feel like I'm selling Sasha out. The man manipulating Orca. At about 10 a.m., I was in the staff room. I heard a loud noise from the ballroom. So I went to the door to lock it. Couldn't see the captain or the orca, but I saw a bunch of coins scattered around. The orca knows there's a certain spot people stand to play volleyball with her. I think maybe she knocked down the stuff that was piled up there and hit the captain. So that gives us a little more info about the area around the orca pool. Orca pool diagram added to the court record. The defendant made the stuff fall down.
Overturned crates and assorted props were scattered all over the pool room floor. There is no doubt it was the orca who caused this mess.
But could she really have done that from within the pool?
As I said, the orca is the only one that could have performed such a feat. The pool and its room were tidied the night before, including its various odds and ends. But when our rhyming Marlin checked on the scene, over 400 pounds of props had fallen. To move it all in one go would challenge even the brawny prisoner in the cell next to mine.
What is he? The jail gossip?
So how did 400 pounds of items fall at once? I'll tell you how. The orca pulled on that cloth that was underneath them. A weight that would be all but impossible for a human to move. It was child's play to an orca. During a friendly game of volleyball, the defendant made the crates fall. And the bag of coins that was among the items fell on the victim's head and killed him. The orca then toyed with the victim's body underwater, which is what Mr. Plume saw.
Objection!
But the witness said he only heard a loud noise. That doesn't automatically make it the sound of Orla making the items fall. Also, why did you only look in on the pool room anyway, Mr. Rhymes? That orca sometimes makes a loud noise to summon a trainer. But I'm still a newbie, so I don't have a security guard to get into the pool room yet. So even if she tries to summon somebody, there isn't much I can do about it. I see. So the witness couldn't enter the crime scene.
Objection!
If Mr. Rhymes couldn't enter the room, there's at least one thing he can't be sure about. His statement that the orc was playing volleyball is purely speculation.
Silence!
Whether the orca was actually playing volleyball is not the issue here. Traces of the orca's saliva were found on the cloth that was underneath the crates. The important point is that the orca is the only one that could have moved the items.
I have to discredit that statement somehow. If I don't, it'd mean that Orla was the culprit, even if the victim died beside the pool. The man manipulated an orca. At about 10 a.m., I was in the staff room.
Hold it!
Are you sure about the time you were in the staff room? What? Yes, I'm sure. I'm pretty good with time. I've never been late to work once. If you're sure about the time, then there's something wrong with that statement. I'd better take another look through the court record. Alright. Please continue with your testimony, Mr. Rhymes. I heard a loud noise from the pool room, so I went to the door to look in.
Hold it!
So, you heard the noise all the way in the staff room? That's right. The Orca pool room and the staff room are pretty close to each other. Anyway, I heard a noise, so I went to the door of the pool room. I don't have a security card, so all I could do was look through the door crack. So what kind of noise did you hear? You want me to describe it? Ah, yes, your word, the crash. Boom, bowing down to the relativity. Everything following with sweet simplicity. This testimony, yo, it ain't got no fallacies. Things falling and breaking was pure insanity. I kinda like that. Okay, but why the need to wrap it? Well, I don't really get all of that, but in any case, I gather it was a very loud noise. Very well. Please describe what you saw at the scene. I couldn't see the captain or the Orca, but I saw a bunch of coins scattered around.
Hold it!
You couldn't see the victim. I was just looking through the door crack. I guess all that stuff was blocking my view. I did notice a whole bunch of coins scattered all over the place, though. But at the time, I had no idea the captain was dead. Killed by gold coins. Ironic, isn't it? Perhaps the Orca wanted to be paid for her labor. Paid in coins raining from the sky. Coins raining from the sky makes it sound almost poetic. But the hard truth is that those coins were actually the murder weapon. Well, we all deserve to be paid for our work, do we not? I shall have a fine meal tonight. If you find our client guilty, that is. Mr. Rhymes, do you have a theory on how the things got knocked down? Of course I do. The Orcas know there's a certain spot. The Orca knows there's a certain spot people stand to play volleyball with it. She used this ball and does a spike, right? We had a nice little demonstration of roller spike for ourselves just yesterday. If you stand on the mark on the floor, the Orca spikes the ball at you. Talk is good at flying straight at his target as well. And I see plenty of targets here, right here in this room. Everybody's so busy protecting their head. Shit. No. They forgot about the trial. Including you. Tell them what happened. Tell them what the defendant caused to happen. Well, New York knows people stand in a certain spot for volleyball. I think maybe she knocked down the stuff that was piled up there and hit the captain.
Hold it!
Are you saying you think she knocked down the items on purpose? I don't want to believe it, but that orca's pretty smart. It'd be easy for her to pull the cloth the stuff was on while she was playing volleyball. Orcas are really strong. One good pull and all those things would come crashing down. I guess maybe an orca could be strong enough to make that much stuff fall. I've never seen an orca play tug of war myself. But the fact is, this one did. The traces of the orca's saliva were found on the cloth to prove it. How long do you plan to walk tightrope on those shaky theories of yours? Wait until you see me do acrobatics. Moments like these are what I became a lawyer again for. I don't know why, but Mr. Rhymes is lying. I'm afraid I have to expose the secret he and Pearls were keeping to resolve this.
Objection!
You say you were in the staff room, but is that really true? Of course it's true. Why would I lie about a thing like that? Mr. Rhymes, have you ever seen this calendar before? That's... I see, you recognize it. Yeah, that's the rival calendar. The big hit at the Ship Aquarium gift shop. Thank you for shopping at Ship Shape. Mr. Rhymes, please refrain from scattering fish around the witness stand. Not to worry, Your Boldness. Talk will have them cleaned up in no time. I guess that bird comes in handy now and then. All right, Mr. Wright. We have all seen your cute souvenir. Now, if you wouldn't mind. No, Your Honor. This isn't my calendar. It was originally the witness's, but it came into the possession of a certain young lady. What? Mr. Rhymes and this young lady first met each other in the food prep room. After a mishap, their calendars got switched around. They ran into each other at about 10 a.m. in the food prep room. So clearly the witness was not in the staff room. In other words, there's no way he could have heard the noise in the pool room upstairs. Ah!
What's this? This is the first time I'm hearing about any calendar.
That's because Mr. Rhymes and Pearls were keeping it a secret.
You lied to me. This transgression will not go unpunished.
So, Mr. Rhymes, you didn't hear the noise of the equipment falling after all, did you? Okay, I admit it. I didn't hear the noise in the Orca pool room myself. But somebody told me about it. Who told you about it? It was, unless you tell the truth, Mr. Rhymes, I can't save Orla. And I'm sure you know how sad that would make Miss Buckler. I heard about it. From Sasha. What? From Miss Buckler? But that doesn't make any sense! What is going on here?
Now it's the trainer's own words that drive the Orca into a corner. How do you like being bitten by your own client, Wright, Turner?
I certainly didn't see this coming.
What perfect timing. There was something I wanted to ask Miss Buckler about. I wanted to ask Miss Buckler about the Orca. The prosecution calls the trainer, Miss Sasha Buckler, to the stand.
Yes, I suppose that would be a good idea. To hear what the Orca's trainer has to say. I don't know what Sasha's going to say. But I'll just have to meet it head on, whatever it is. We will take a 20-minute recess while the witness is summoned. To be continued. The only case... Well, starting in the fourth case, we get the to be continues back. But yeah, yeah, actual breaks in the trial, holy shit! We'll finish this first trial next time and cross-examine Miss Buckler. Bye-bye!